Alright friends, Stobbie here and welcome to another Devblog breakdown. This is Devblog 135 for the upcoming Battle Brothers Blazing Deserts DLC. So last week we had Music of the South, which you can hear playing right now. And this week is Location Environments, which were mentioned earlier. But it looks like this is where we're going to be getting much more detail. So, we've previously announced that we're going to portray any location that you're fighting at, such as a graveyard or a brigand camp. Also on the tactical combat map. If you haven't done so already, it's highly recommended that you read up on our explanation of why we're doing this and how we're addressing potential issues here. It's a previous Devblog. Since this feature is now more or less ready, it's time to take a closer look at how it plays out. Location environments. First off, location environments will be included for free with the upcoming 1.4 update. This includes graveyards, ruins, and various camps for humans, orcs, and goblins. If you choose to get the Blazing Deserts DLC, you'll also have Desert Raider encampments and Southern Ruins in battle, and if you own the Warriors of the North DLC, you'll get to see Barbarian camps and villages, but you don't need to own either to see most of the new environments. Nice little addition, you don't have to buy the DLC. As we've said previously, we want fighting brigands in the open field to feel different from engaging them at their camp. Indeed, where their camp is located and what kind of camp those brigands have should also become more important. Smaller camps may be a loose collection of bedrolls around a campfire, providing a largely cosmetic backdrop for your battle, while larger camps may even have fortifications like wooden palisades that provide cover for the defenders. If a location does have fortifications, you'll see it both in the location's tooltip, on the world map, and in the engage screen before you start your assault. Isn't that interesting? My first thought is that's going to make it more difficult to take on camps. A location with fortifications is harder to assault, but it doesn't mean that you'll have to bring siege equipment. Take a look at the Barbarian camp below. It's quite a defensible position, being the extreme example of a fortified camp built on a hill. But we've deliberately kept holes in the palisades. These palisades are enough to limit your angles of attack, change up things and make you think twice on how to go about your assault, but never enough to bring the entire battle to a halt at a single choke point. Although the location environment doesn't look like it makes the battle any easier, it does make it a lot more predictable where you and the enemy start, and more a question of good tactics and less of having luck with spawn positions. I think is pretty important. I think many of us who have put in a couple thousand or even hundreds of hours will know what it's like to have a battle where, based on the enemy's composition, you can smash them, but if you get unlucky with the way the world map is laid out, the battle is laid out, if you start with the enemies on high ground and you have low ground and you have more or less equal archer power, they'll just never come towards you, and it's not a fight you can win without taking unacceptable losses. Unlike field battles, which most of your battles are still going to be, your men don't start in a battle line right in front of your opponents when assaulting locations. You'll start in formation, but further to the left, whereas the enemy starts in their camp to the right. There's also going to be a couple of instances where the roles are reversed and you have to defend a location against attackers. That's cool. If you don't want to fight the enemy at their camp, you can attempt to lure out their garrison on the world map to fight them in the open, and then return to easily sack the location afterwards. On the other hand, engaging the enemy at their camp may sometimes be advantageous over luring out their garrison onto difficult terrain. That's because your enemies naturally cut down trees at their camps, making for open spaces, and build their camps only on dry spots within swamps. So instead of having to fight goblins in murky marshlands where your heavily armored men get stuck, you can descend upon their camp and fight them on solid ground. Ultimately, location environments are about bringing more variety and atmosphere to combat in Battle Brothers, and about adding another strategic consideration to the world map. Very, very cool. I'm hugely in favor of this. I think this is amazing. And it's something that I've been mentioning for over a year now. The thing that really got me thinking about it was, even just from an looks point of view, aesthetic point of view, I thought, like, if you're assaulting a graveyard, surely you should be fighting in a graveyard with open graves everywhere. It's going to be interesting to see how these environments affect lines of sight and what that means for use of your archers. Anything that, I was about to say anything that helps nerf archers is a good thing, but I don't know if it is, because already the meta is just heavy hedge knights. I don't know. all I can say is this, I think, is a net good for the game. I can't wait to be able to play with different locations, potentially bigger maps, which made me think of bigger maps when they said here you will start in formation further to the left. That means they might have to increase the size of the actual battle map when you're in there. Regardless, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. They need to release this DLC now. I've taken a break that's almost 2-3 months long now from Battle Brothers, and I'm happy to say that for the first time in a few weeks and months, I'm sitting here thinking, man, I can't wait to dive back into Battle Brothers. Hope you're all as keen as I am, and keep an eye out for continued dev blogs, but hey, before we know it, hopefully, no more dev blogs, and the game will be released. And be assured, as soon as that does, there will be hours of content every day on the YouTube channel, so please do check it out. Thanks for watching, friends. I'm Stobbie for 9. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. See you guys next time.